How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Codex Reviews on the Codex Station. I'm Dan Kelly, and today I'm going to be reviewing the 12-issue maxi series Avengers Forever. It was released by Marvel from December 1998 to February 2000. It was written by Kurt Busiek, penciled by Carlos Pacheco, inked by Jesus Marino, colored by Steve Oliff, and lettered by Richard Starkings and Albert Deschesne from Comic Craft. This book is a classic Avengers epic. It's a big time travel story that pulls an Avengers team together with different Avengers from different time periods. The artwork in it is absolutely beautiful. Some of the best of Carlos Pacheco's career, if not the best, which says a lot because he did some beautiful artwork with a lot of different characters in his career. Uh, the the battle scenes that are in this are just amazing to look at. The writing is great. Another good story by Kurt Busiek. You can tell that he's someone that has a deep knowledge of these characters. He has a firm grasp of continuity, and he can go back to stories from the past and add to them and extrapolate on them without contradicting anything that previously happened. The problem with a story this big, though, is it does tend to get a bit wordy. Even with it being 12 issues long, it is a lot of story to cover, and it does deal with a lot of past events. And with the different Avengers being from different time periods, there is a lot of explanation that has to go on there. So it's not something that, especially being 12 issues, it's not something that would be easy to sit down and read in one sitting. It would probably be best to sit down, read a couple issues at a time, and then come back to it a bit later. Um, the Even though it is a great story, if you are not already an Avengers fan with some base of knowledge about past Avengers stories, it can have a lot thrown at you that you won't know. For the major characters that are in the book and the major events that it deals with, it does a good job of explaining everything that you need to know. But there is a lot of stuff that's thrown in there that, like I said, even in 12 issues, there's not enough room to really go into detail about it. So, some of it is just glossed over. Where if you know about the stories from the past, it definitely adds to the story for you. Um, it is it is great seeing all the different versions of the characters interact. The main team of Avengers, it's a 7-person team. It is the Wasp and Giant Man from what was then current day Marvel. It is Captain America from the past, right after he kind of lost his faith in a lot of things and became Nomad. It is Hawkeye from right after he stopped being Goliath and went back to being Hawkeye. It's Yellow Jacket, the Hank Pym from the past when he kind of lost his mind. And it's great seeing him and the then current day Hank Pym as Giant Man interact and being two just completely different versions of the character. It also has Songbird, who at that time was a member of the Thunderbolts, but comes from the future where she was an Avenger. And it took the character Janice Vell, who was the son of Captain Marvel, who had briefly appeared in some Marvel comics, and pulls a future version of him in and introduces him as the new Captain Marvel, which led into his own ongoing series. So the the best part about the series is seeing all of these different iterations of the character interact that had never interacted with those particular versions of themselves before. They said, you have the Captain America that kind of lost his faith in everything, who is a much different Captain America than we're all used to. And and the Yellow Jacket who had lost his mind and was, on the verge of almost being a villain, interacting with his then current day stable version of himself, and the Wasp kind of caught in the middle, and Hawkeye had not yet become the leader that he later became, and was still kind of the almost bratty character. So him and Yellow Jacket arguing and fighting with each other was great. Captain Marvel, you could tell that he had secrets throughout this that he didn't want to reveal. And the interactions with him and Rick Jones are good. Really, the heart of the story, the thing that makes it great, is the interactions between all of these different characters. And overall, I would rate this a 9 out of a 10. It's a great Avengers epic story. If you're an Avengers fan, or if you're interested in reading Avengers, I would definitely put this on your read list. If you haven't read a lot of Avengers yet, I would say put this on your read list, but don't put it near the top. Read some of these major stories from some of these characters from the past, and then when you're up to date, then you can read this and you'll definitely enjoy it more. So again, I'm Dan Kelly. You can find me on Instagram at Dan Kelly Art. This has been another Codex review for the Codex Station. You can find it on all the social media platforms. Just search for the Codex Station, and see you in the next issue.